And then slowly start to stretch the arms and the legs out. So you're somewhere between the shape of the letter I and the letter X. Not a big expansive X, but not totally straight. Soften through the shoulders. You don't want to feel anything on the tops of the shoulders. And experiment a little. With your next inhale, reach the arms and legs apart in more of an expansive X shape. And then exhale, release, and do this a couple of times and just notice the quality of the breath and how the body feels as you inhale and reach out. This is what we're used to doing, right? Inhaling is always like, expansive, reach, open, lengthen. Nothing's wrong with that. Now let's try something different. Take your next inhale naturally with no movement. And as you exhale, play with reaching in that X shape and notice what changes. You might notice there's less doership. You can't push quite as far. Maybe you feel your joints a little less, which is a good thing. You might feel less pressure in the shoulders, less pressure through the spine. Keep playing with this pulsation, softening as you inhale, and then reaching out on the exhale. Maybe you have more of a connection to the deep core. Perhaps you can feel that hollowing out happening as the diaphragm sucks into the bottom of the ribs. And then relax completely. Hug the knees into the chest. Use your next inhale to curl the body up towards the thighs. And then exhale, release the head down. Stretch everything out into that big X once again. And try a couple of these on your own. Inhaling to lift, tucking into a ball. Then exhaling to reach out. And if you ever want to reverse the breath just as a point of comparison, you're welcome to. Next time you reach out, pause and hit play on the first track if you are using our playlist today. Make sure it is set to loop. And so now we'll do a similar sequence but add a little bit of rolling. So instead of tucking knees into chest while you stay on your back, start to tuck the knees into the chest as you roll on to the left side. Inhale through the back of the body, feeling expansive, feeling that low rib opening. And then as you exhale, roll onto the back, lengthening everything out, but notice the evenness through the body. Inhale, roll to the other side, curling into the fetal position. Slow, even exhale melts the body open into that X. And we're going to take a generous amount of time here, so start to flow at your own pace, and I do always invite you to slow down a little bit. Smooth out the motion. And notice that balance, that play of opposites as you inhale in the curled up position. You might simultaneously feel single point of awareness as you curl inward, and then the spaciousness of the breath. And the opposite is true on the exhale. You might notice how the exhale takes you into that single point, focusing at the heart center, but the movement itself reaches you in all directions. And no need to rush, but the next time you are in the fetal position on the left-hand side, pause there. And we'll add on our side lying half moon pose. So we're going to practice this a few times. Imagine the floor is actually in front of you. So you'll kick out the left leg straight in front of you. Flex the foot because you're standing on your invisible floor. And then reach the hand towards the invisible floor. Okay, so that's your standing leg. And then on your next exhale, imagine pushing the foot into the invisible floor, letting the right hip start to open, letting the hand reach out without releasing the hip all the way on the floor. So it's going to take a lot of core support. Let's try that again. Inhale, fetal position. And then even slower this time, exhale to slowly open into your Urdhva Chandrasana, noticing the strength of the left leg. Take several of these on your own. Don't worry about how much the right hip opens. Instead, try to feel how supported the right leg is by the core and the diaphragm on the exhale. You don't want to build any tension in the right hip flexor. If you're doing too much, you're going to feel it in the front of the right hip. Try to do less. Let the breath support you and let that feeling of ungripping and unclenching take over. The next time you curl into the fetal position, pause there, and then use your next exhale to open up, rolling onto the back. Let's add in our Apanasana, inhaling knees into chest, curl up. Exhale, big X. Next, inhale, roll to the right hand side. I know you can't see me now, but we're doing the same thing that we did before. So as you exhale, actually don't worry about the breath yet. Kick the right foot forward, invisible ground, to reach the right hand to that space. And then on your exhale, start to push into the invisible floor and notice how the body naturally opens and expands. The right leg, or left leg rather, can go wherever it naturally does. And then inhale, fetal position. Slow exhale, plant the foot, and then let everything naturally open and try to let go of any sense of where you want the top side of the body to be. Hello, welcome Laura, great to see you. And each repetition, see if you can feel the support more even through the body. Like the whole body is helping that left leg open and reach, and so it becomes lighter. And the next time you open into the side lying half moon, pause there and just let your body memorize this shape and this support and breathe. And then inhale, fetal position one last time. Exhale, spread out into your X. Inhale, knees into chest. Lift the body. Feel the pressure building at the center. And then exhale, reach out one last time. And let's pause here and relax completely. Snow angel the arms down by the side so the shoulders and the elbows can be soft, and try to empty out in this moment. Just like at the beginning of class, let yourself arrive in your body-shaped footprint. Close the mouth, let the tongue gently press to the roof of the mouth, and notice the flow of the breath. Let your curiosity scan the diaphragm. And when the diaphragm is healthy and fully able to lift and lower, it actually massages the heart as well as other organs, but something about massaging the heart is so sweet. So find that gratitude for the complexity and intelligence of the body so far beyond what we even know. And bring the knees into the chest. Roll onto the left side and gently press up. We're making our way to table. My favorite way to get there is to plant the hands and then to drag the knees underneath. And if you did it that same way, the right side of your body should be facing me. Take a moment to find your comfortable table, and you can turn sideways so your right side is towards me if it isn't already. Let's go to the next track. We'll go to the second track. I've been really enjoying this second track, so I actually remembered this week. Start to paw out the hands, letting the elbows bend gently. And even though it's a gentle movement, the elbows bending starts to activate the tricep. You might feel how the arm integrates into the back of the shoulder. Let the neck be soft. Connect with the breath. And just like we did on the floor, see if you can use your inhale to expand the back of the body, letting the spine lengthen but not arch. And then let's lower one forearm at a time and gently start to draw some circles of shoulders around elbows. And the circles can be whatever size is useful to you. We're just waking up the shoulders from all directions. As the shoulders start to wake up, perhaps it's interesting to make your circles a little bit bigger, noticing more muscles in the arms and the back body engaging. And then start to circle the other way, varying the size of the circles, but just making sure you always are feeling what you're doing. Right? Movement without feeling isn't really useful. And let's come back onto our hands and take a moment to find your neutral spine, and then bring the right knee in a few inches from the hip. Push down into the right knee and just notice how the muscles in that leg engage, and then release. And do that a couple of times, letting the thigh and hip support you. The next time you push down, keep that pressure and start to glide the left leg back. Take a couple of pulses with the left leg without moving the hips, and you should feel some warmth building in the right leg. If the warmth isn't building, start from scratch. Play with bringing that knee forward, making adjustments, and pressing into it a little bit more. The next time the foot comes down, tuck the toes under, shift the weight into the left hand, and draw a nice big circle with the right hand, circling open towards me. And then as the arm comes back down, plant the right hand, shift the weight into the right hand, and open into a quarter moon shape, facing the other direction, allowing the hips to stack. Release that hand back down, and we'll do that a couple of times. So circle the right hand up and back, and then as the hand comes down, swap sides, opening up into your quarter moon. Move at your own pace. If you want to sync this with your breath, inhale for the spiral and exhale for the quarter moon. The next time you're spiraling, slow it down, and as the arm comes down, slowly start to slide the right leg back into a plank pose. Pause in your plank and just notice the sensation through the inhale, preventing any arch in the low back, and then that integrating feeling of the exhale. We'll try that sequence one more time. So lower the knees, slide the right knee forward, glide the left leg back. Take your arm circle to the right. And then open to quarter moon to the left. Release back down, arm circle to the right, right into effortless plank. As the hand comes down, get ready to slide the right leg back and pause. And notice a sense of integration, especially through that right side of the body. Drop the knees down, press the hips to the heels, melt the forehead, palms face up. Just like we did on our back, we've got a little extra pressure against the diaphragm here. So let's take several breaths naturally to just appreciate that extra work required. Oh, and it means the knees have to stay together if that's comfortable. If the knees go wide, you just don't get the extra diaphragm work. Notice that sense of pressure building as you inhale. And then that sense of integration as you exhale. I've been playing with the inhale in my own practice, and it really is a great moment to release tension as that pressure builds in the center of your body. It's almost like there's permission to let go of superficial muscles that are gripping. So if you know you've got an area in your body that's feeling tight, on your next inhale, imagine that pressure being so strong that all of the extra work becomes unnecessary. The neck can release, the jaw can release, the muscles in the low back or wherever you hold tension can all release. And then as you exhale and soften, that tension just melts away. We'll float up to table and do that same sequence on the second side. So from tabletop, glide the left knee forward several inches, start to push down into the left shin and notice what engages in the left leg, and then release the pressure and just take a few pulses like that, pushing down and then releasing. Try to feel a sense of evenness in the left leg and spacious support in the left hip socket. The spine should stay neutral here. There might be a tendency to want to round into a cat. Try to keep the spine neutral even with that downward pressure. That's going to build stability and strength. Next time you push down into the left shin, glide the right foot back and take a few pulses with the right leg. So the right leg lifts, the pelvis stays steady. That's going to engage your glute. If the pelvis tips forward, you're just recruiting unnecessary muscles in the back, creating probably some tightness. The next time the toes come down, tuck the toes under, shift the weight into the right hand, big circle with the left hand forward, up and back. As the hand comes down, shift the weight into the left hand and start to stack open into your quarter moon. Right foot can stay up or down, whatever you want. And then we'll go between those two shapes. So release the right hand, inhale for the twist, and then exhale for that expansive reaching outward pose. And notice how the exhale keeps you tethered. It keeps you integrated. Nice. Take several more on your own, moving as slowly as you need to. If the wrists are feeling sensitive, you can always try this on forearms. It's actually a little bit harder, but totally doable. And we'll start preparing for our effortless plank pose. So on the next spiral to the left, you're getting ready. As the left hand comes down, press into it to glide the left leg back effortlessly. Pause. Take a couple of breaths. If this doesn't feel effortless, try lowering your knees. I'm sorry I didn't offer that on the first side. Bend the elbows a little bit. Make sure you're feeling springy and light. And then we'll repeat that process. So lower the knees down, glide left knee forward, push into the shin, glide right leg back, take one pulse, level hips, drop the toes, circle left. Inhale. Plant the left hand open to your quarter moon on the exhale. We'll go back to the spiral, preparing for weightless plank. Hand comes down and then glide the left leg back effortlessly, and notice the sense of integration through the left side or maybe even beyond. Notice how the inhale is slightly restricted because your abdominals are naturally engaging here. And so you get that diaphragmatic strength just by breathing fully in a challenging posture. Drop the knees. Release the hips to the heels, palms face up, or you can circle them around the body, placing them over the calves and resting the hips on top of the wrists for a little massage. I actually highly recommend it because I'm doing it and it feels really good. And then breathe some awareness into the diaphragm. Mouth closed. Smooth, steady, even breath. And just imagine that movement of the heart riding up and down. Release the wrists, place them to either side of the face, tuck the toes under, and take some nice circles of hips around the heels to massage out the feet. Be extra vigilant with the big toes. In fact, push into the big toes to stabilize the big toe joint as you move, so you get a little more feedback through the feet and the arches, or the toes and the arches rather. Circle the other way. If it's comfortable, you don't want any pain here, but if it's comfortable, try bringing some weight into the heels. It can be a little bit. Your hands can stay on the ground, or you can even start to bring hands to the thighs. And then the most would be stacking the shoulders over the hips for a foot stretch. If you are trying the foot stretch, try to push the toes down as if you were pointing the feet, but you can't, right? Because the earth is there. But that pointing action is going to activate the muscles around the toes.